Hello, this is Mark Taylor. I hope you are well. I said that I would come on and do some live on the Education on Fire Facebook page, and here I am. We're going to try and keep the podcast going as normal through this coronavirus situation. So we had Selinkalot, who we've actually been able to promote with his free spelling app. So there's those details on the podcast as well, which we've also sent out through all the social media. I had a little bit of a chat on Monday about how the situation with COVID-19 is going on and how that's going to affect us. But today we released an episode looking back with Richard Gerver about education and manifesto for change, which was one that I recorded for the National Association for Primary Education podcast back in the summer of 2019. And it was at the moment with education changing, people homeschooling, all the remote learning that's going on. I just thought it would be a good chance as we start to bring everything under the Education and Fire umbrella, as we start to bring all the different strands of the podcast into one particular umbrella as Education on Fire. It'd be a good chance for us actually to re-listen to some of those podcasts which have really made a big difference to people. And that's a really interesting discussion about how education is going to look going forward. And I think because everything is very different for everybody at the moment, we really are thinking about how it's working. Certainly here for our family, one thing that's been really interesting is how the children have actually gone on and actually taken responsibility for their learning. The schools have been fantastic in terms of actually giving them work to be set. They've got on, they've done it. They've still enjoyed social life online with their friends in terms of they've been working together in groups. They haven't been overly taxed in terms of doing things they really didn't seem to understand. I know the teachers are available online and through email and that kind of thing, which is really fantastic. But also they've not had things going on in their school classroom which have distracted them because they've just been working in smaller groups. And that seems to have been really positive. There's been lots of work that's happened in less time than they would have been at school. So they've been able to get up slightly later, which I think as teenagers is a really positive thing. Still been able to get their schoolwork done, still had some structure, but also been able to get through the things faster, but more efficiently rather than it just being faster. And I think that's been really key. We've adopted a few things to sort of help us in terms of some regular exercise that we've been able to do. I've personally started doing 100 skips 3 times a day. Just wanted to put something in place to have a bit of structure, a chance to really actually get some regular exercise while we're in lockdown. And it seems to be something which is really good. It's something that we've all started to take on board. Luckily, the weather here in the UK has been absolutely fantastic. So we're very privileged here to have a house with a large garden and been able to have some outside space, which we can really enjoy. And so we've also now obviously got some time to be able to put those things in. So while it's interesting times, it's a strange time. It is also actually a chance for us to really reflect. I think also not to sort of jump into how we think it all is, because I think next week there's another week of school. I think it'll be different again as we start to realise this is the routine we're going into before the Easter holidays. And I think actually being a little bit patient with everybody, see how it all starts to fall in, especially if we end up still being at home after the Easter holidays, then I think we need to have some kind of understanding that actually it will fall into some kind of pattern, but it'll bring up some interesting things in terms of how you haven't even thought of, which are going to be important. And I think that's something which we can really support each other on. It's why I wanted to come on here, and certainly going to be here once a week, just sort of sharing some of the things that we've done, some of the things which have helped, and hopefully if there's anything which you've used which has been useful, whether it's an online tool, whether it's a situation that's occurred based on your experience as a teacher, as a parent, something that you can help other people with, then do put a comment below and let us know. Do share this around so that we can sort of all work together and support each other moving forward. One of the things which has been a big interesting thing for me, obviously as a musician, all of my concerts, all of my gigs were cancelled. Some of my teaching I've been able to try and put online. We've been experimenting with Zoom, with Skype, various other mediums to be able to do it, and actually I'm actually quite enjoying the system of being able to set all those things up. I've already had my online calendar service, which is all set up for the podcast and all that kind of thing as well, but certainly been able to do that and interact online, and actually it seems to work plenty well actually. But the thing which I found interesting is there are certain things which you don't know. There's a conversation that I saw online today about the fact that lots of teachers end up, certainly music teachers, actually writing things in people's music to sort of support them, to help them and things. And of course, you can't do that when you're remotely. You know, making sure that the children have got pencils that they can use to actually write down some of the things that you've been saying as you've been going through, to really help them to remember what's going on, rather than you doing it as the teacher. And I think there's some really positive things about that, about actually actively having to do these things yourself. So so it's been an interesting week. Do let me know exactly how you've got on as well. And as I said, we're going to use this platform just to be able to talk about some of the things that have happened. The podcast is going to continue to go out, obviously, on Monday. And as we bring the Learning on Fire podcast under this Education on Fire umbrella, I'm going to do some of the bonus episodes and re-release some of those as well. So have a great weekend. Hope you manage to have some time with your family. Look after yourselves, be safe, be well, and I'll speak to you again next week.